Hello everyone, I am Mr. Navarun Mandal, Senior Subject Master of St. Paul School, Darjeeling, and you are watching my channel THINKONOMICS-Study with Navarun. Here mainly we are discussing about the different topics of ICSE, CBSE and the ISC syllabus. It's quite good to see the number of viewers, the number of subscribers are increasing day by day, though slowly but steadily. So keep watching, keep subscribing, and please share the knowledge of economics with the other friends and relatives and the students and friends in your surroundings. In our last lesson, we have discussed about the different functions of barter system, that is primary function, secondary function, and the contingent function of money, and how money has helped in solving the problem of the barter system, like the problem of double coincidence of want, the problem of indivisibility, the problem of complex calculation, problem of deferred payment. So all these things we have discussed in our last lesson, which are quite important for all three. That is for ICSE, for CBSE, and also for the ISC. Today, I'll be teaching you the total supply of money in the economy, high-powered money, and the different types of banks which exist in the Indian economy. First of all, what do we mean by total supply of money in the economy? The total supply of money in the economy, it implies the total stock of money with the public or with the citizen of the country in a given period of time. The total stock of money in the economy at a given period of time, that will be termed as the supply of money. So what are the components of supply of money that we have to know? The different components of the supply of money are currency, which consists of coins and notes, demand deposit with the commercial bank, time deposit or the fixed deposit with the commercial bank, and also the other deposit with the Reserve Bank of India. Now the first component, if I come to the first component of the supply of money, that is the currency notes. In case of India, coins and the rupee of 1 rupee notes are issued by the Ministry of Finance, Government of India. And any notes of higher denomination, rupees 5, rupees 10, 100 rupees, 500 rupees, all these are issued by the Reserve Bank of India. This is the first thing we have to remember about the currency notes. That 1 rupee notes and the coins of lesser denominations, these are issued by the Ministry of Finance, whereas the currency notes of higher denominations are issued by the Reserve Bank of India. The second component of the total supply of money in the economy, it consists of The demand deposit. Now, my boys and girls, what do we mean by demand deposit? Demand deposit, it actually consists of both the saving account deposit and the current account deposit. Saving account deposit, that is the deposit which the common people have in the bank, and this amount of money which the people can withdraw from the bank by giving a very short notice to the bank. Here the rate of interest is quite less. It varies from 2% to 3%, sometimes even it goes to 4%. But the rate of interest is quite less. Then what is current account deposit? Current account deposits are those deposits which are generally maintained by the businessman. In case of current account deposit, the customers are allowed to withdraw more amount of money than what they have deposited in the bank. Suppose I have a deposit of rupees 1000. I can withdraw rupees 5000 from the bank in case of current account deposit. That is, I am withdrawing rupees 4000 more than what I have deposited in the bank. This is known as overdraft facility. So we have to remember that in case of current account deposit, overdraft facilities are available, but the rate of interest in this case is either zero, or the bank can charge the rate of interest to the consumer or to the customer if they withdraw more amount of money than what they have deposited in the bank. Now, coming to the component of the money supply, from there only we came to this saving deposit and the current deposit. This both saving deposit and the current deposit, they are called the demand deposit because the customer can withdraw the money on their demand. So demand deposit is the second component of the supply of money in the economy. First one is what? First one is coin and currency. The second one is the demand deposit, which consists of both the saving deposit and the current deposit. Why demand deposit will be considered as the part of the total supply of money? My boys and girls, any customer, any individual, if they have the demand deposit, then they can draw check on those deposits, and these checks can be utilized to purchase goods and commodities. I repeat, if a customer have a demand deposit, that is either saving deposit or the current account deposit, then the customer can draw a check on those deposit, and these checks can be utilized for the purchase of goods and commodities. Hence, demand deposit will constitute one of the component of the total money supply in the economy. The third component of the Third component of the total money supply in the economy is time deposit or fixed deposit. In case of time deposit or fixed deposit, customers deposit the money for a fixed period of time, say 5 years time. Suppose I have deposited rupees 50,000 for 1 year time. All right. So I am not allowed to withdraw the money before 1 year. Here the rate of interest is much more as compared to the saving deposit or the current account deposit. Now, if any customer wants to withdraw the money before the period of 1 year, in that case, bank may not give him the rate of interest which the bank was supposed to give. All these things we will discuss in the functions of commercial bank afterwards. But the question is, why the time deposit or fixed deposit will be considered as the component of total supply of money? The reason for this is that if the customer have a fixed deposit, then the customer can take a loan against this fixed deposit or the time deposit, and this loan can be utilized by him for purchasing any kind of goods and services. Suppose, for example, as I said, that I have rupees 50,000, all right, as a fixed deposit in State Bank of India for 1 year. Now, I cannot withdraw the money of rupees 50,000, but I can definitely approach the bank that please give me a loan of 25,000 against my fixed deposit. And I can utilize that money of rupees 25,000 for purchasing a cell phone. Hence, fixed deposit are also considered as the total supply of money, as the component of total supply of money. Sometimes people save the money even in the post office, because generally the rate of interest in the post office is little bit higher than that of the savings account deposit. So the deposit in the post office will also be considered as one of the component of the total supply of money in the economy. My dear boys and girls, these are the different components of money. The question can come in your board exam, either you are in CBSE or you are in ICSE. Question also comes, what do you mean by the narrow money? What do you mean by the broad money? Important question. So what is narrow money? Narrow money is actually the summation of the total amount of currency with the public plus the demand deposit with the commercial bank and the other deposit with the Reserve Bank of India. This is narrow money. It is represented by the capital M1. Now there is a new term, that is the other deposit. Very important term. Now what are the other deposit with the Reserve Bank of India? The other deposits with the Reserve Bank of India, it consists of the demand deposit of a foreign country with the Reserve Bank of India, or the demand deposit of the international financial institution like that of IMF and World Bank with the Reserve Bank of India, this will constitute the other deposit with the Reserve Bank of India. But you also have to keep it in mind that the statutory liquidity ratio, which we'll discuss afterwards, or the cash reserve ratio with the Reserve Bank of India will not be considered as the other deposit with the Reserve Bank of India. So the narrow money, that is M1, it consists of the currency with the public plus the demand deposit with the commercial bank plus the other deposit with the Reserve Bank of India, which I said that other deposit, it consists of the deposit of the foreign institutions like IMF and the World Bank with the RBI, or the foreign countries demand deposit with the Reserve Bank of India. So this is M1 of the narrow money. Sometimes some of the economists says that along with this M1, if we consider the deposit in the post office, that is the postal savings, if we add up the postal savings with the currency, with the people demand deposit, with the commercial bank, plus the other deposit with the RBI, then there is another way of finding the total supply of money, which is represented by M2. M2 is also considered as the narrow money. Now, why narrow money? Why the name has been given as narrow money? M1 and M2 are considered as narrow money because here the components of the total supply of money are less as compared to the other way of measuring the total supply of money. For example, if we add up the currency with the people plus demand deposit with the commercial bank plus the other deposit with the Reserve Bank of India, and also the time deposit or fixed deposit with the Reserve Bank of India. See, here we are adding up what? We are adding up the time deposit or the fixed deposit. Then we get the third way of measuring the total supply of money in the economy. This is known as M3, which is also called as the broad money. Broad money, why? Because here the component has been increased. The number of component has been increased because we are adding up the time deposit or the fixed deposit. So it is called as the broad money. My dear boys and girls, this is very, very important for your board exam because sometimes they give you the definition of narrow money or the broad money, and sometimes they give you differentiate between the narrow money and the broad money. So we have to know about what is the narrow money and what is broad money. So this is one part. Coming to the second part of our chapter, the second part of today's lesson is the high-powered money. What do you mean by high-powered money? This is a definite question for the board. I have checked it in the CBSE board. I have checked it for the ICSE board. Okay, the broad money. This one, what do you mean by the high-powered money? High-powered money is actually the total liability is actually the total liability of the monetary authority of the country. Now, in case of India, who is the monetary authority of the country? In case of India, the central bank of India, that is the Reserve Bank of India, is the monetary authority of the country. So their liability, their total, Reserve Bank of India's total liability in a given year will be termed as the high powered money. It is also known as the monetary base of the country, or it is also known as the reserve money. So high powered money has two other names. One is the monetary base, the other one is the reserve money. Now, what are the components? What are the components of the high powered money? The components of the high powered money are: number one, currency with the public. Number two, cash reserve with the commercial bank. Number three, required reserve of the commercial bank. Required reserve means the reserve which the commercial bank has to keep with the Reserve Bank of India. I will come to this one. And it also consists of the other deposit of RBI. So it is four components. What are the four components? Currency with the public. Number two, cash reserve with the commercial bank. Number three, the required reserve that the commercial bank has to maintain with the Reserve Bank of India. And number four, the other deposit with the Reserve Bank of India. Now, coming to the cash reserve of the commercial bank and the required reserve to be kept with the Reserve Bank of India, what do you mean by that? Suppose, for example, State Bank of India, one of the commercial bank, they got a deposit of rupees 1000. Now, will the State Bank of India utilize all 1000 rupees in giving loan to the investors? The answer is no. A certain portion of the total deposit with the commercial bank, in my example, State Bank of India, has to be kept with the Reserve Bank of India. Suppose, for example, 10% is a required ratio. And the total deposit with the State Bank of India, as I said, is rupees 1000. That implies 10% of rupees 1000 is equal to rupees 100. Rupees 100 has to be kept by the State Bank of India to the Reserve Bank of India. So how much money is left now? How much money is left with the State Bank of India? Rupees 1000 was the total deposit. Out of that, 100 has to be kept with the Reserve Bank of India. So now the commercial bank has rupees 900. That is 1000 minus rupees 100. This rupees 900 is known as the cash reserve of the commercial bank. This will be utilized in giving loan to the investors. Whereas the other rupees 100, which the commercial bank has to keep, with the Reserve Bank of India, is known as the required reserve to be maintained by the commercial bank with the Reserve Bank of India. So all this, that is the currency with the public, plus the cash reserve with the commercial bank, plus the required reserve that the commercial bank has to maintain with the Reserve Bank of India, plus the other deposit with the with the RBI. All these things are the liabilities. These are the liabilities for the Reserve Bank of India. Why these are liabilities? Because the Reserve Bank of India promises to pay the bearer of these notes and currencies, has promised to pay the bearer of these notes and currencies the value, the exchange value equivalent to what they are holding. So they have to, Reserve Bank of India has to give the value equivalent to the amount of the deposit with the Reserve Bank of India, with the commercial bank, and the amount of money that the people they are holding. This total amount of the value of this amount of money, of the value of this supply of money, has to be given by the Reserve Bank of India. So it will be termed as the liability of the Reserve Bank of India. So, my dear boys and girls, I hope you have understood the lesson. If you have any problem, as I said it to you before also, you can always ask your question in the comment box, and I will try to reply as soon as possible. As soon as possible. And if you are liking my way of teaching, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Please watch the video. I know you have subscribed the channel, but please watch this channel so that it is beneficial to you, so that you understand the basics of economics and you can help the other to understand the economics. That is the main idea of this channel. So thank you very much for being with Thinkonomics. Stay safe, stay healthy, study economics, think economics, and share your knowledge of economics with the others. Namaskar and Jai Hind.